The London fog rolled in, thick and heavy. It clung to the River Thames, shrouding the water in a ghostly veil. I walked along the embankment, lost in thought. The city lights blurred like watercolours bleeding into the night. Suddenly, a splash. Something broke the surface of the dark water. A cry, faint and desperate, cut through the fog. I stopped, heart pounding. "Hello?" My voice echoed back, swallowed by the mist. Another splash. This time I saw it. A small figure struggling in the current. It wasn't a human. The moonlight glinted off something strange, something otherworldly. Without hesitation, I kicked off my shoes and jumped. The icy water shocked my system. I fought against the current, my eyes searching for the figure. The fog made it impossible to see. Then I spotted her, a small, slender form, sinking beneath the surface. I swam with all my might, adrenaline pumping through my veins. I reached her just as she slipped beneath the surface again. Her skin was smooth, almost iridescent like a fish. Large, almond-shaped eyes stared at me, wide with fear. Her small hands, webbed and delicate, clutched at my coat. I wrapped an arm around her, surprised by her weightlessness. She felt like air in my arms. Kicking hard, I swam back towards the embankment. The current fought against us, determined to drag us back into the darkness. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through me. I had to get us out. I had to save her. With a final burst of energy, we broke the surface. Gasping for air, I pulled us onto the riverbank. We lay there for a moment, catching our breath. The fog swirled around us, a silent witness to our struggle. I looked down at the creature beside me. She was shivering, her skin no longer iridescent, now a pale blue. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and gratitude. "It's all right," I said, my voice hoarse. "You're safe now." I could see the fear in her eyes, a fear that seemed to transcend the usual human experience. It was as if she had seen things, experienced things, that were beyond my comprehension. I wanted to reassure her, to let her know that she was in a place where she could finally breathe easy. She tilted her head, her eyes studying me intently. There was a curiosity there, a deep, probing curiosity that made me feel like she was seeing right through me, into the very essence of who I was. It was both unsettling and fascinating at the same time. "Ilara," she whispered, her voice like the tinkling of bells. It was a name that seemed to carry with it a weight, a history that I couldn't begin to understand. Her voice was soft, almost musical, and it had a calming effect on me, despite the strangeness of the situation. "Ilara," I repeated, a small smile forming on my lips. "I'm John." I wanted to make her feel at ease, to let her know that she was among friends. My smile was genuine, and I hoped it conveyed the warmth and kindness I felt towards her. I helped her to her feet, surprised by her delicate grace. She moved with an elegance that was almost otherworldly, and I couldn't help but be captivated by it. There was a fluidity to her movements that made it seem like she was gliding rather than walking. She was taller than I expected, but incredibly slender. Her height gave her an air of authority, but her slender frame made her seem almost fragile. It was a striking combination, one that added to the sense of mystery surrounding her. Her clothes, if you could call them that, were strange. They were unlike anything I had ever seen before, a blend of materials and designs that seemed to defy the conventions of fashion as I knew it. They seemed woven from light itself, shimmering and shifting with every move. It was as if her very presence was bending the light around her, creating a mesmerizing display that was impossible to look away from. Her eyes, those large luminous orbs, held an intelligence that belied her small stature. They were eyes that had seen much, that held a depth of knowledge and experience that was beyond my understanding. It was clear that she was not from this world. I knew then, with a certainty that defied logic, that she wasn't from around here. She was something different, something extraordinary. The realization hit me like a wave, and I felt a mix of awe and trepidation. What did this mean for me, for us? I took her back to my flat, a small, cluttered place above a bookshop. It was a modest space filled with the trinkets and mementos of a life lived in quiet solitude. I hoped it would provide her with some comfort, a sanctuary from whatever she was running from. She marveled at everything: the flickering gas lamps, the worn books lining the shelves, the chipped china cup I handed her, filled with steaming tea. It was as if she was seeing the world for the first time, and her wonder was infectious. I found myself seeing my surroundings through her eyes, appreciating the simple beauty of it all. "What this?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Tea," I explained. "It's a hot drink. It'll warm you up." She took the cup with a tentative smile, and I could see the gratitude in her eyes. It was a small gesture, but it felt like the beginning of something significant. As she sipped the tea, I couldn't help but wonder what her story was, and what had brought her to my doorstep. She took a tentative sip, her eyes widening in surprise. The liquid was unlike anything she had ever tasted before, a blend of flavors that danced on her tongue, both familiar and alien. It was as if the drink held the essence of Earth itself, a concoction that bridged the gap between two worlds. "Good," she declared, a smile lighting up her face. Her expression was one of pure delight, a childlike wonder that seemed to erase the years of distance and difference between us. It was a moment of connection, a shared joy that needed no words. It was a smile that could melt glaciers, so pure, so full of innocent joy. Her eyes sparkled with a light that seemed to come from within, a beacon of hope and happiness that was infectious. In that moment I realized how much we had in common, despite the vastness of space that separated our origins. Over the next few days, Ilara, as she called herself, told me her story. Each evening we would sit together and she would recount tales of her home, her voice filled with a mix of nostalgia and longing. Her words painted vivid pictures of a world so different from ours, yet so similar in its essence. She was from a planet far beyond our solar system, a world of shimmering oceans and luminous flora. The landscapes she described were breathtaking, with colors and forms that defied earthly imagination. It was a place where nature and technology coexisted in perfect harmony, a testament to her people's ingenuity and respect for their environment. She had been on an exploration mission when her craft malfunctioned, sending her hurtling towards Earth. The journey had been perilous, filled with moments of sheer terror and uncertainty, yet she had survived, driven by a determination to learn and explore, to seek out new experiences and knowledge. She spoke of advanced technology, of interstellar travel, of beings who could manipulate light and energy. Her descriptions were both awe-inspiring and humbling, revealing a level of sophistication that made our own achievements seem primitive by comparison. Yet there was no arrogance in her tone, only a genuine desire to share and connect. I listened, captivated, my skepticism fading with every word. Her stories were so detailed, so filled with emotion and authenticity that it was impossible not to believe her. Each tale brought us closer, breaking down the barriers of doubt and fear that had initially separated us. I learned about her people, their peaceful nature, their deep connection to the universe. They were a society built on principles of harmony and understanding, valuing knowledge and compassion above all else. Their way of life was a stark contrast to the conflicts and divisions that plagued our own world. And as I listened, I felt a bond forming between us, a connection that transcended language and even species. It was a bond forged in the fires of shared experience and mutual respect, a testament to the power of human, or rather sentient, connection. We spent our days exploring London, her initial fear replaced by an insatiable curiosity. Every corner of the city held new wonders for her, from the historic landmarks to the bustling markets. She marveled at the diversity of people and cultures, finding beauty in the everyday scenes that we often take for granted. I showed her the Tower of London, the Houses of Parliament, each site a new chapter in her growing understanding of our world. She was particularly fascinated by the stories of the past, the tales of kings and queens, of battles and triumphs that had shaped our history. The bustle of Trafalgar Square, the energy of the place was infectious, and she delighted in watching the crowds, the street performers, the vibrant life that pulsed through the heart of the city. It was a stark contrast to the serene beauty of her home, yet she embraced it with open arms. She, in turn, showed me the universe through her eyes, filled with wonders I could never have imagined. Her descriptions of distant galaxies, of stars being born and dying, of the intricate dance of celestial bodies were like poetry. They opened my mind to the vastness of the cosmos and our small yet significant place within it. We laughed together, shared stories, and formed a friendship as unlikely as it was profound. Our bond was a testament to the power of understanding and empathy, a reminder that no matter how different we may seem, we are all connected by the same fundamental desire to explore, to learn, and to connect. One evening, as the sun set, casting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Elara turned to me, her expression serious. "John," she said, her voice soft, "it is time for me to go." My heart sank. I had known this day would come, but that didn't make it any easier. "I have contacted my people," she continued. "They are coming for me." I nodded, trying to mask my sadness. She reached out, her hand touching mine. Her touch sent a jolt through me, a surge of warmth and energy. The air around us shimmered, and a small silver sphere materialized in her hand. "This is for you, John," she said, her eyes filled with gratitude, "a token of my appreciation for your kindness, your friendship." I took the sphere, its surface cool and smooth against my palm. It pulsed with a soft inner light. Before I could speak, a brilliant beam of light shot down from the sky, bathing us in its ethereal glow. A sleek silver craft, like something out of a dream, hovered above us. Ilara turned to me, her eyes shining with unshed tears. It was a moment that felt suspended in time, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. "Thank you, John," she whispered. Her voice was soft, almost fragile, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. "You have shown me the true meaning of kindness. In a world where she had known only fear and isolation, my simple acts of compassion had bridged the chasm between our worlds." And with that, she stepped into the light, her form becoming translucent, ethereal. It was as if she was merging with the very essence of the cosmos, becoming one with the stars. The sphere in my hand pulsed one last time, then grew warm. It was a warmth that spread through my entire being, filling me with a sense of peace and fulfillment. I looked up, watching as the craft ascended, disappearing into the night sky. It was a sight both beautiful and bittersweet, knowing that she was returning to her home, yet leaving a part of her with me. I stood there for a long time, the silver sphere clutched tightly in my hand. It was a tangible reminder of our encounter, a symbol of the bond we had formed. The world seemed different now, somehow bigger, more full of wonder. Every leaf, every star, every breath of wind felt like a part of a grander tapestry, woven with threads of infinite possibilities. Ilara, the alien girl who fell from the sky, had shown me that the universe was a place of infinite possibilities, of stories waiting to be told, of lives waiting to be touched, of extraordinary encounters waiting to be discovered. Each moment held the potential for magic, for connection, for transformation, and as I looked up at the stars, I knew that our paths, however briefly, had crossed for a reason. It was a reminder that we are all part of something much larger than ourselves. I had saved her life, yes, but in doing so, I'd also saved a part of myself. It was a realization that filled me with a profound sense of purpose, but she had given me something far greater. She had given me a new perspective, a new way of seeing the world and my place in it. She had opened my eyes to the wonders of the universe, to the beauty that exists in the most unexpected places, and to the potential for growth and change within myself, and to the boundless capacity for connection that exists even between the most unlikely of friends. It was a lesson in empathy, in understanding, in the power of human connection, and for that I would be forever grateful. Grateful for the encounter, for the lessons learned, and for the new path that lay ahead, illuminated by the light of a distant star.